What is up, YouTube? My name is Mr. Hero and I'm back with a brand new video. And OG Willikers, have I missed saying that? And oh boy, have I missed all of you fine people of the internet. I can safely say we are back in familiar surroundings, but unfortunately it's a bit later than what I a bit later than what I thought I would come back. I thought I'll come back like last week or so, but I got sick unexpectedly and frustratingly so. But maybe you can hear it in my voice. I am still, shaking off the rust. But we are back, and boy, oh boy, how so much has happened in the 2 weeks of 2024. And let me say, I really hope all of you crossed over well into New Year and have had stable, fantastic, or whatever you were expecting of the beginning of the new year, you got out of it. And let's keep building on this year. But talking about football, and okay, that fell down again. But hopefully nothing else will fall apart. What can I say? I mean, so much has happened in 2024. Again, of course, the January transfer window has been quite quiet from Chelsea, and I'll tell you why that is. But basically, this video is gonna be basically everything that I've been thinking about, and of course talking to my friend about regarding football as a whole. And of course the Goldbridge stand will be back tomorrow or later on today. First of all, let's talk about the GOAT of the game. Let's talk about Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi winning the best award. I think it was 2 days back or so. Frankly, I thought this was laid on. I wouldn't think that people would have been shocked that this would have happened. As well, I mean, at the end of the day, I was the one being shocked because apparently the World Cup isn't being factored in this award, and I was like, okay, that changes things, doesn't it? It really did change things. But then I saw that this was about players and so voting for the best, and I'm like, did they know that the World Cup wasn't supposed to be, evaluated and all that, journalists and all that stuff? Did they know that? I'm like, I don't know, because if you don't factor in the World Cup, then the picture kind of changes for Lionel Messi, doesn't it? Just a bit. So it turns from gold to a more dull yellow, in my humble opinion. It just turns to that mucky, goopy, snotty-ish yellow from that goal that the World Cup would have given him. So I don't know, but I do have solace in that it's not like the Ballon d'Or where fans do. I think it's fans, journalists, and players. And I think I saw an Instagram post from ESPN or Sky Sports saying the votes from Modric and Valverde was one that actually pushed Messi over the line to win the best award. So Ronaldo fans in the mud. But yeah, for me, from that award ceremony was that the fact that Marcelo Brozovic was in the conversation. I'm like, who is that and why is he part of this conversation? But all that aside, a lot has been happening, man, and I think that word, I'm not sure if it's in the camera frame anymore. Success. 3 Premier League teams have not been successful or where they would want to be at, and that's Chelsea, Manchester United, and of course Newcastle. But then when you think about the January transfer, those three teams, you would expect for them to at least having some murmurs around with some decent opportunities in the market. Because of course Chelsea were looking at Victor Osimhen. We're now looking at a young lad from Sporting, which I don't know much about, but I'm going to shock some of the Chelsea players here, and of course some rival fans, Manchester United fans here, by saying I don't mind them looking at him. I don't mind them signing him for the summer. But if we get Victor Osimhen, then are we going to get rid of Jackson, or going to put Jackson to the wing because we've seen Jackson at the wing? I don't know, but what I can say now is that I wholeheartedly trust this recruitment system. I don't trust them for instant impact, but I do trust them that over time the players that they're scouting will become good. But again, with the striker, I've said this time in and time again, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys know from last year who have been watching me. I'm so cutthroat on strikers because the striking position is so cutthroat in itself. It's the most flexible position. It's one of the positions on the pitch that you can't train. You can't train world-class strikers. They're basically just born, and they have it. They have it. They have that sense of goal. They have that instinct, that predatory cutthroatness. And that's why excuse me, and that's why the Arsenal's can't train in KTA. That's why we can't train Jackson. But it is Jackson's first season. It is Armando Broja's first full season not being injured. So I will give them some leniency. But when you look at Darwin Nunez, man, the eye test works, but the numbers just aren't. You need the two in. Haaland works, but then Haaland's very one-dimensional, and it works for Man City. Ivan Toney's on the market, but now Brentford are looking for 100 million. I was like, piss off, you absolute. I'm not gonna say it. 100 million for Ivan Toney is absolutely shambolic. It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that he hasn't played basically a minute of football as of recording this video, I think. But he should be back. It is January. He should be back. I don't know why. But then when you look at Manchester United, from Manchester United, how did they get to that word success? Frankly, I don't get it, man. Højlund passes the eye test wholeheartedly, so he passes the eye test. But then when I see Scott McTominay on the pitch, and of course against Spurs, getting that last minute header in, of course he missed it. I'm like, why isn't Højlund there? Why isn't Højlund getting in the box where Scott McTominay is to get those goals? Because Scott McTominay is Manchester United's top goal scorer. And I've been hearing on Twitter people complaining, of course, Mark Goldbridge, saying he's taking chances from Højlund. But I'm like saying, then I think to myself, wait a minute, shouldn't Højlund be the one taking those chances? It says a lot when your attacking midfielder is quote unquote taking the chances from you. But then he isn't standing in front of you. He's basically standing where you should be, in a way, if you get what I'm saying. So it's very interesting, man, because Højlund is basically the same player that he was beginning of the season, where you can see some improvement from other strikers' games, like, of course, Armando Broja and Nicholas Jackson, which I know from personal experience because I watch them a lot, and I do watch Manchester United just to heal the pain that Chelsea causes me sometimes. I look at that, and then I look at the fact that I don't think Bruno Fernandes is it, in my opinion. He's a quality player because he has those moments of those long balls working out for him now and again. But when I look at him, when I think to myself, Bruno Fernandes has a simple pass to keep possession. Let's say he passes to Kobe Mainoo or passes to Amrabat or whatever. Or he sees Garnacho, Antony, Højlund, Rashford making a dot and run. Who is he going to pass to? Out of those two situations, who is he going to pass to? And in my opinion, it's kind of obvious, and it isn't even in question who he's going to pass to. He's going to do the Hollywood pass, the long pass that can risk possession, but just to get the ball up the pitch very quickly. And that, to me, isn't a tactic that, frankly, a mid-table team uses anymore. Chelsea's excuses that we're very inexperienced, we cause errors, we away from home, we don't have the mental you don't have the mental fortitude for the away ground. And I see time and time again, and it's always frustrating when you see and we are back. Sorry, my phone died there, and it's at 2% right now. So I think I'll kind of wrap this up in a bit. Newcastle, what are Newcastle's problems? Well, Frank, that injuries have been a major plague on their season. And the fact is, man, I've been hearing this a lot, bro, from Man U fans, saying, why isn't Eddie Howe under the same scrutiny as Erik ten Hag? Well, because of the simple fact that Eddie Howe had better moments in his season than Erik ten Hag. He beat you guys at 3-0 at your ground with 3 left backs on the pitch. He performed admirably in the UEFA Champions League in the group of death with those injuries included. So I don't see any instant reason to get rid of Eddie Howe. But what I don't understand from all these three clubs that I think they have massive problems and are massively underperforming is why aren't they more active in the transfer window? For Chelsea, I do understand that a striker during January is extremely difficult and of course can take a bit out of can take a bit of pocket change, but we know Daddy Bowley, Daddy Todd can do the most. But of course, it's all about finding the right striker, and I think that Gutierrez guy, whatever his name is from Sporting, might be a good one for the future. But then I think you have to replace him with Breuer. Yeah, because I don't think. I mean, who knows, man? We might actually stumble onto a gem there. We can instantly come into it, but I think Menu have a lot more problems. But I think Manu's problem is because they have better players than Chelsea. It's all about play style, isn't it? It's all about play style, and how they play is literally compared. You can compare it to a relegation team. You can compare it to a bottom half team. You really could. You really could. And Newcastle, I mean, what happened to Tonali was completely out of their control. And I think with Tonali in there, I mean, I don't. I'll say this: with Tonali in the team, I don't think they lose against Man City. I don't. When you see how Foden was in so much space and the spaces that De Bruyne was occupying, I'm like just saying, brother, with Tonali here, you guys don't lose this game. And they've been so injury ridden because of the brand of football they play. They play with guts, passion, and tears. It's just so unfortunate, isn't it? It really, really is unfortunate. But I do think Eddie Howe can last another 2 seasons or so. Because, I mean, playing Dan Burn right back or left back and making him an actual, like, decent player. Absolute great manager, man. Truly, truly is. And it's been a pleasure coming back. There will be some gaming videos on here. Here and there, you know, just kind of spice things up a bit. But of course, there will be a lot of football content because, I mean, I love football. You love football. We love football. The world loves football. And of course, football is life. And I'm just glad that my voice is back or coming back slowly. I can start commentating and all that stuff, giving you my opinions, hearing your opinions, and just having a good old conversation. And yeah, I mean, and G Relicers again. Oh boy, I miss saying this again. All that's left for me to say is wish all of you a very good day. Bye bye.